That common bond we share is the legacy of Hogwarts.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at 20 hidden places in Hogwarts Legacy you might not have found. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Death Day Party Room. Do you remember that hauntingly beautiful scene from Disney's The Haunted Mansion where the 999 spooky specters are dancing, carousing, and partying it up in the enchanted dining hall? Well, Hogwarts Legacy offers up its own spin on this in the form of the ethereal Death Day Party Room. Using Alohomora to unlock a sneaky door near the lower grand staircase, you are greeted to a magnificent room where ghosts galore are having the time of their afterlives. Glowing mystical candles adorn the air as chatty specters laugh, dance, and party like they have all the time in the world. It's one of the best sights in the entire game, and one that budding magical students might easily miss.
I can't say I ever thought Ranrock stood much of a chance. Just a lot of bluster and noise.
The Werewolf Tapestry Room. Okay, this one's a doozy to try and find organically. Hidden behind a hanging tapestry near the bell tower courtyard Fluflame, the secret door is marked with a large letter K. Walk right into it to see it become a passable door. Entering this magical room greets you with a werewolf statue and a plethora of tapestries telling a fable about a werewolf saga in an enchanted kingdom. Oh, and you can also scoop up a field guide page to add to your expanding collection.
Revelio.
Hogwarts Kitchen.
Here's a welcome treat. Delicious.
If you're eager to see how all of the delectable and scrumptious foods in Hogwarts Castle are made, then be sure to tickle the pear to enter this hidden kitchen. Just be warned, once you know how the sausage is made, you can never look back. Head on down the spiral staircase near the grand staircase fast travel point to be greeted to a cozy hallway where a painting filled with fruits galore awaits you. Once prompted, tickle the pear to enter the kitchen. This kitchen is massive and is typically filled with house elves preparing all manner of foods. However, depending on the time of day, the kitchen could be quieter. Regardless, it's quite special seeing all of the fancy foods, cooking pots, massive tables, and even the house elf homes, which happen to just be made out of barrels. Hufflepuff Common Room's Secret Sweets Room. This might just be the simplest secret room, however it's likely the sweetest, for one specific reason. Well, the sweets, of course. The Hufflepuff Common Room is easily one of the coziest places in all of Hogwarts Castle, with its verdant greenery, myriad flowers, reading nooks, beautiful lamps, stocked bookshelves, and so much more. If you can find yourself admiring the bookshelves, then look to the one to the right of the central fireplace. This otherwise normal bookshelf just so happens to be a secret door that leads to all the sweet goodies and treats anyone could want. So snuggle up with a cup, a cake, and a book and tuck in for a delightful evening in this special secret room. The Tomb of the Villager.
Revelio. Lumos.
Under the cover of night, just outside of Hogsmeade is a quaint yet spooky fog-laden graveyard with one specific tomb that hides something special. Venturing here is well worth it, especially for fans of puzzles and loot, and, well, maybe a few enemies to battle. The tomb you are looking for is near the top of the graveyard, adorned with candles on the right-hand side. Upon closer inspection, you can enter the tomb. Now, it's worth noting that you will need Incendio and Accio to complete the devious puzzle within. While many secret locations in the game are just fun to look at and explore, the Tomb of the Villager is one that offers a bit of gameplay spice and a nice little reward for the adventurous type.
Wingardium Leviosa.
The room behind the library fireplace.
Lumos.
The Hogwarts Castle Library is downright stunning, especially for book aficionados. From the walls and walls of ancient and elegant books and tomes, to the winding spiral staircases that take you to the other levels of this sizable room, to the warmth and glow of the reading lamps, this library is sure to steal your heart and plenty of your time. Because there's just so much to keep you occupied in this place, many students likely miss the tiny secret area just behind the main fireplace on the left-hand side, behind some rows of bookshelves, of course. Now, you can easily see behind it, however, unless you have the Glacius spell, good luck getting through the flames. Once Glacius is in your spell inventory, use it on the fireplace to be greeted by a quaint and charming hidden nook, replete with a harp, some cakes, and some Quidditch memorabilia. The mysterious blue door. If you're looking for a stone frog to spit you out into a secret, otherwise unreachable room, then I guess look no further than the mysterious blue door located between the Gryffindor Tower and the Faculty Tower in Hogwarts Castle. Wandering down a spiral staircase, you might just catch a glimpse of a blue door that looks like it can't quite be accessed. Well, worry not. The frog statue to your left is here to help. Interact with it and it will spit you out into a cobweb-covered room that features oodles of trinkets to peruse. From a wall of wands to a dueling mannequin to some ancient-looking tomes, this storage room of sorts really does have it all. Oh, and don't forget to look up at the ceiling to notice some topsy-turvy drawers and some random umbrellas, I guess in case it rains inside. And when you're done here, simply pop out of the blue door to the floor below to then just look up and see the previously inaccessible door. Thank you, Mr. Stone Frog. Tea Party Overlook. Nothing quite beats a cozy spot of tea after a long day, am I right? Fortunately, Hogwarts students can enjoy one of the best views in the entire game while drinking one or more cups of tea with a couple of cuddly buddies. This Tea Party Overlook isn't necessarily hard to find given that it's on a tall jutted bluff overlooking Hogsmeade and Hogwarts Castle. However, many people might not even think to look here. You can access this cozy locale in a number of ways, but flying via your broom might just be the quickest. This green mountain bluff is all set for a tea party picnic with an outstanding view of the surrounding area. You might feel a tad bit bad after drinking all 3 cups of tea, but don't worry, they magically apparate back for the others to enjoy. These organically discovered secret areas are some of the best parts of Hogwarts Legacy, so get out there to explore. Owlery Spire Cozy Nook. On its own, the Hogwarts Castle Owlery is certainly a location anyone will find, and most Harry Potter fans will want to check out this unique locale as soon as possible. But did you know that you can actually fly up to a cozy nook at the top of the Owlery Spire? Well, this unassuming part of the Owlery features a quaint little nook, replete with a hay bed, a plush pillow, and a crate of reading supplies. So who actually uses this location? Well, I mean, it's hard to say, but whoever found this spot has fantastic surrounding views of Hogwarts Castle, the Quidditch pitch, and the delightful mountains. Oh, and the hole in the center that drops down to where the owls sleep, it's no big deal. There's apparently a magical barrier, so you don't fall through. Head on over to this special nook to enjoy some well-deserved relaxation. Medusa Painting Storage Room.
Finite!
Some puzzle lock doors hide great riches, and others, well, they hide a painting of Medusa that can just so happen to turn you into stone. It is Hogwarts Castle after all. I mean, there's bound to be some magical shenanigans going on behind some doors. If you head to the Bell Tower Courtyard Floo Powder fast travel spot and find a spinning puzzle lock door, then you're in the right location. Once completed, you are greeted to a secret storage room with the aforementioned painting lying in wait for you to eagerly interact with it. Once you do so, magic takes over and Medusa turns you to stone. Worry not, however, it's just a brief little gag and only lasts a few seconds as long as you break out of it, or prepare to fall over. That might leave a mark, so watch out. Everything else in this storage room is also made of stone, so it's clear that there were also plenty of other curious creatures as well. That Medusa, she can be quite dastardly, can't she? Quill of Acceptance and a Book of Admittance Room. This tiny, out-of-the-way room is likely the most important location in all of Hogwarts Castle. Why, you might ask? It's because the Quill of Acceptance and its scrawlings in the Book of Admittance records every single person that has some sort of magical attunement. Essentially, this sentient quill and book track any source of magic in people, from the most basic forms to the powerful ancient magic displayed in Hogwarts Legacy's player-controlled witch or wizard. These two magical instruments decide who gets to immerse themselves in Hogwarts' curriculum. The room itself isn't the easiest to find since it lies all the way up near the Headmasters' quarters, an area most players won't naturally get to unless they are following along Sebastian's Slytherin Scriptorium quest. Alliteration aside, this room, which was placed by the Hogwarts founders themselves, feels utterly unique, with the Quill of Acceptance and the Book of Admittance in the center, surrounded by the glow of dripping candles. Oh, and you can only gain access with the well-hidden key of admittance located in the Headmaster's private tower room. Headmaster's private tower room. Speaking of the Headmaster's private tower room, this cozy and elegant room won't be easy to get to, with many players probably missing out on it completely. Locked behind an Alohomora level 3 locked side door in the Headmaster's office, this room is accessed via a winding set of outside stairs that lead up to the titular tower spire. You are first greeted with a mesmerizing view of the surrounding landscape, including bucolic green rolling hills, the vastness of the Black Lake below, and off in the distance, Hogsmeade and Hogsmeade Station. Prying yourself away from this view isn't easy, but for those that do, entering the balcony door greets you with a small room that feels quite large given its vaulted, spired ceiling and celestial wallpaper. This is one of those locations in the game that is completely optional, but for fans of scouring every nook and cranny of Hogwarts Castle, it's an absolute must-find. From the roaring fire to the mounds of well-read books to the large ornate windows, this private tower room should be on your Hogwarts Legacy travel guide. Plus, if you want to get to the aforementioned Quill and Book Room, you need to first come here to gain the key of admittance, located on the Headmaster's messy desk. Stitches and Drafts Shop, Haunted Hogsmeade Shop. For those that own the PlayStation versions of Hogwarts Legacy, there is, for better or worse, an exclusive, and might I add, delightfully spooky side questline that sees you explore a seemingly abandoned and derelict shop in Hogsmeade. By starting the Minding Your Own Business side quest in the charming hamlet, you are greeted to the house elf Penny and the witch Cassandra Mason. By taking on this quest after speaking with them, you are meant to just head into a basement to acquire Cassandra's now deceased husband's belongings. But let's not forget that before that, you need to first cop of 1,500 gold for the luxury of buying the shop outright. So as to avoid many of the surprises this quest has to offer, you essentially complete a set of nefarious tasks laid out by the zany ghost known as Fastidio the Poltergeist. Upon completion of this part of the quest, the shop is now yours to own, with Penny being your loyal companion and shopkeeper should you wish. You are given a choice of shop names, with mine being Stitches and Drafts, and it's then that the shop's exterior receives an overhaul with the new name added to the signage. Okay, so the actual interior of the shop consistently and permanently remains messy and in disarray throughout the remainder of the game, but there is still a sense of whimsy with the magical MacGuffins scattered and strewn all about the place. The vibe of your newly acquired shop fits in perfectly with the Hogsmeade feel. Plus, you can return to Penny at any time to sell any items you don't want to keep with you anymore. Pitt-Upon-Ford. Pitt-Upon-Ford is one of those locations in Hogwarts Legacy that so many players missed, because it lies at the very tippy top of the world map, deep in the heart of the woodlands just outside of the Forbidden Forest. However, to miss this utterly breathtaking village would be a massive mistake, given how lush, gorgeous, and quaint it is. According to the in-game map info, Pitt-Upon-Ford means placed by a shallow river. Now this description is frankly quite reductive, given how magnificent it is to explore and wander through, but it is indeed by a river, unfortunately one filled with dugbogs that really aren't happy you're around. Regardless of the Dugbog threat, the villagers of Pitt-Upon-Ford don't seem bothered at all. As you stroll around the pathway, you will find verdant flora and fauna, spectacular colors, cozy, well-lived-in houses, a small village square with a shopkeeper, and plenty of cute cats that you can stop and pet. But why is it that the cat's meows in this game sound a bit terrifying? Anyway, stopping to look around, you will even notice a gushing waterfall with a castle spire high above on the hilltop. The game never pulls you here on its own, so be sure to seek it out right away. Perhaps one of the villagers could even set up an Airbnb here. That would be splendid. Secret Underbridge Passage. To be right up front with all of you, this location that everyone missed isn't so much of a top-tier exciting location to explore, but is instead one brimming with mystery, since it's so close to get to, but just out of reach. One of the main connecting bridges in Hogwarts Castle hides a secret passage just below it. Walking across this bridge greets you with a set of 4 fire sconces, 2 on each end of the bridge. Interestingly, they aren't lit, which, as many Hogwarts Legacy players know all too well, means they likely have to do with a puzzle using Incendio or Confringo. But setting each of these ablaze doesn't do anything on its own. By turning the fire sconces using a special ornate floor grate as a guide, the secret is eventually revealed, with the grate sliding open to reveal a ladder guiding you down to the passageway below. What lies beneath is a lower level of the bridge with a stream of water running through it, somewhat like a mini aqueduct. There are a handful of top-notch treasure chests down here which help you acquire some great loot. While not an outwardly stunning location, solving the puzzle to get down here makes you feel like you were the first one to discover it. The Pond with a View. Understated and overlooked are the best 2 words to describe this unnamed location near the outskirts of the Forbidden Forest. I have lovingly named this location The Pond with a View because it's an apt description for an otherwise benign location in the game. Now there's a chance some players could happen upon this boggy pond area near a small poacher camp if the Poppy Sweeting relationship questline is followed. But for those that skip out on it, which you shouldn't by the way, then it's unlikely you will get here of your own volition. This somewhat dark and dank area of the woodlands has a small pond with a Dugbog battle. In the center of the pond, on a small plot of land, is a hidden treasure chest as well. While the poacher camp has some loot, you should really stop by this location because of the view when walking out. Walking out of this location moves you between 2 cliff walls along a pathway. You are then greeted by an incredible view of Hogwarts Castle in the distance with the Forbidden Forest in the foreground. Now, depending on the time of day, this vista will surely provide you with plenty of screenshot-worthy moments and surely shows the artistry of this game on display. The Tilted House. Like something straight out of Alice in Wonderland, the Tilted House is a unique anomaly in an otherwise simple and quaint village, namely that of Keenbridge. Located in the heart of the Hogwarts Valley region, Keenbridge itself is a wonderful location to discover, either organically or through a relationship quest or 2. Like many villages in the game, there are NPCs to chat with, a shopkeeper to interact with, a Merlin trial to complete, and plenty of locked houses to use your Aloha Mora skills on. However, it's the unassuming, oddly shaped house near the village road that deserves your time and attention. The aptly named Tilted House is just that, a small cottage that has been warped and augmented due to the gargantuan tree that grows through it and around it. Stepping into the house, you are greeted with the warm glow of the candles and fireplace. Walking around inside can make you feel a bit wonky given its tilted nature, especially with vines and roots jutting up through the floorboards. It's a fun location to discover and one that should be on your travel map right away. South Clagmar Coast. Ah yes, the calm and serene coastal region of Hogwarts Legacy. Most players won't be heading to the higher level coastal region until much later in the game, once the main quest dives even deeper into Ranrock's mines and drilling sites. Sure, you can head to this out-of-the-way region earlier, but to do so might mean you're missing out on the hidden locations in and around the Hogsmeade and Hogwarts Valley areas. However, once you do venture to the coastal region, it's of the utmost importance to specifically seek out South Clagmar Coast. While there aren't many grounded activities here to complete, it's one of those locations brimming with rugged beauty. South Clagmar Coast does feature a couple of side quests, but it's not the main reason to head here. The reason to do so is to take in the breathtaking views, the salty air, the rundown cottages, and the wildlife. There's actually a flue powder fast travel location in a small oceanside hut where a humble NPC seemingly lives and spends his time. With a broken down pier, a simple Merlin trial, the skeletal remains of a large beast, and even a poacher-filled castle ruin to explore, South Clagmar Coast is certainly on the outskirts, but provides a distinct and sublime beauty not seen in the more traditional Hogwarts and Hogsmeade areas. Just be sure to pack your rain jacket since it's quite a bit more damp and wet here.
Your poaching days are over.
Dilapidated Mansion Crypt. Flying on your broomstick with the dilapidated mansion in the distance is quite the spectacle. With the sun rising, the ocean waves swelling, and the sound of the wind rushing by you, it's quite special to see this creepy-looking location getting closer to you. As you get closer to this mansion and its surrounding grounds, which have somehow been kept up quite well, you know you're in for something spooky and mysterious. Specifically, this location houses a crypt, one that can only be accessed at the top of a cliff, with Incendio or Confringo being your key to set ablaze the sconce that sits in your way. Upon doing so, you can head on down to the crypt itself. This dilapidated mansion crypt actually houses a secret side quest via a note and a treasure map. But getting to the goods means you have to contend with some ferocious Inferi and Inferius. Weakened by fire spells, these baddies put up quite the fight. However, it's worth the battle and exploration since this derelict crypt feels haunting and creepy, a real treat for those of us with a penchant for all things horror. Candles and torches adorn the halls and walls of this location. Should you persist in your exploration, you eventually make your way inside the foreboding dilapidated mansion itself. Dukess' Cellar. You might think I'm bonkers for adding a humble shop cellar to this list. However, hear me out. To get to Dukess' Cellar, you first need to accept Gareth Weasley's relationship quest, Descending for Sweets, about breaking into the candy factory that is Honeydukes via a secret passageway from the one-eyed witch statue in Hogwarts Castle. Now that may sound simple, but keep in mind, many of us, myself included, wanted to play through the game as a goody-two-shoes witch or wizard. So the idea of breaking into the delightful sugar-drenched Hogsmeade shop seemed like blasphemy. Heck, I didn't even learn any of the curses from Sebastian since that might mean leaning towards the dark side. With that being said, I did eventually break into Dukess' cellar via the secret passageway in order to steal some billywig stings for Gareth's new butterbeer concoction. Getting to the cellar isn't the easiest task, but once you do arrive there, you can now see the underbelly of the Sweets Emporium. It's actually quite the dichotomy, seeing the dark and dank cellar where stock is stored in comparison to the color, candy, and sugar overload of the shop above. It's a location you shouldn't miss because there's something special about knowing you can get there easily from your common room should you desire a midnight snack or treat. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.